Dear viewers, welcome to Interview with Stephen. And on today's show, our spotlight is on problems of education in Nigeria and possible solutions. And my guest is Dr. Sarah Shittu. She got her training in African Diaspora Outlook, and she has been a lecturer with Benue State University, Makurdi. She is a seasoned, sound, and very articulate lecturer. It won't be hyperbolic and sugarcoating to say she is knowledge personified. She joins me online from Makurdi, the capital of Benue State. Dr. Sarah Shittu, welcome to Interview with Stephen Ahwen. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm delighted to be on the program. Thank you so much.
Okay, it's nice to know. You have been in the educational sector for a reasonable time. You will agree with me that the status quo of our educational system is not desirable. And of course, it will be hypocritical and self-delusional to pretend that our educational system is crisis-free. Can you take us on a trip into the problems bedeviling the educational sector?
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen Alwyn. On the educational sector in Nigeria, we want to know how it works and what's been going on in education area. So about to down by the government and private stakeholders such as non-governmental organizations and private individuals manage educational facilities as stipulated by the National Policy on Education. The Federal Ministry of Education regulates both Nigeria, both public and private educational facilities. There are three government levels: federal, state, and local. The federal government and state government manage, while the local government oversees public primary and primary level institutions. The Nigerian educational system was formally structured using the 6334 formula, which means 1 year pre-primary, 6 years primary, 3 years junior secondary, 3 years senior secondary, and 4 years tertiary education. Tertiary education covers universities, polytechnics, and educational colleges.
Corruption seems to be a canker one, that has eaten deep into the fabric of our nation. And there is no sector in Nigeria that has been spared the wrath of corruption, the educational sector inclusive. Now, there are stories of lecturers sleeping with female students, collecting bribe from students in exchange for good grades. You also have university administrators demanding money from students to have their exam result compiled and submitted to the National Youth Service Corps. And you also have admission seekers paying money to get into the university. The question is, how can we rectify or kind of normalize this abnormality, the corruption in particular?
Okay, you've said so much. Use the bodies of their female students, in order to get grades, right?
Yes. Yes, lecturers sleeping with students and collecting, bribe from students in exchange for good grades. and then you have administrator, universities, demanding money from students to have their results compiled and submitted to the National Youth Service Corps. And you also have, admission seekers paying money to get into universities. So the question is, how can we rectify or normalize this abnormality?
Well, that's a difficult question for me because I am in the system, and that if I tell you that I don't know that this is happening, then I'm a big, big liar.
Very true.
Yes, I am. The How can we stop students from, you know, giving money to staff or staff from asking for sex from students? I think that is a pretty difficult one. I don't know how we stop these. Well, I think um, government should look into this by placing sanctions on lecturers caught sleeping with any student. Um, Maybe that would help. But right now, it's on, so to say, it's on the increase. That students find themselves in the hands of lecturers is on the increase. And I want to tell you that it's difficult to in one day and say, no, this has to stop, it's got to stop. We can't stop this immediately. No, with the immediacy of time, like you think, it's difficult. But I think something could be done. And what could that be? That means we'll take it one step at a time. Maybe that will help. Maybe that will help.
Crime, if you are to prescribe penalty or punishment, what punitive measure would you like to recommend uh, to the government?
Wow. You're asking me a pretty difficult question. Government, now you want to bring in government. Wow. I think um, thinking of punishment. Did you say punishment?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Punishment for this kind of thing should be outward rejection, as the case may be, of rejection of the lecture. Come to think of it, I'm sorry, how many of us would survive this? It's pretty difficult to say because if you check, there are just a few lecturers who are not involved in, you know, the exchange between them and students. So if you bring that punishment into place. Wow. I wonder who would survive it. I wonder who would make it out of, you know, the strenuous exercise
Okay.
of okay.
All right. Well, let me put you on the spot, okay? Let me just, shift away from that a little bit. Let me put you on the spot, okay? Now, uh, the 21st century skills, such as critical thinking, problem solving, cross disciplinary collaboration, agility, and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurship, effective oral and written communication, capacity for collating and analyzing information, curiosity, and imagination be imparted to students in Nigeria. Question is, are 21st century skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, cross disciplinary collaboration, agility, and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurship, effective and oral uh, written communication, capacity for collecting and analyzing information, curiosity, and imagination being imparted to students in Nigeria.
Now it's I think it's imparted in very many ways. You know, education is the bedrock of development. We try to push in all of these critical thinking and all into one book. And so uh, we have series of problem solving issues that come up time and again. Unfortunately, education in Nigeria is bisected with myriads of problems. And so they include poor funding, poor educational infrastructure, inadequate class teaching aids, that's projectors, computers, laboratories, libraries, and so on. Paucity of quality teachers and poor stroke polluted learning environment. In addition to these inadequacies, our school system is plagued with numerous social vices such as examination malpractices, cultism, hooliganism, and corruption. So we can't run away from all these, so to say. We can't run away from them. They are there. The issue is how do we erase them from the system? Now, when if we look at it in terms of erasing from the system, it's going to be really difficult for us because I don't, when do we know that such problems can be erased? How sure are we that it can be erased totally and completely?
Okay. Now,
it's a difficult one.
Okay, now see, do you think that our students in Nigeria, do you think that our students in Nigeria are being equipped with the 21st century skill, such as critical thinking, problem solving, and initiative and entrepreneurship? Do they have the capacity to collate and analyze information?
Critical thinking.
Yeah, problem
And
solving, because these are the 21st century skills. Do you think that the Nigerian educational system is equipping the students or learners with these 21st century skills?
okay, critical thinking, problem solving. If you ask me, I think the answer is yes. The Nigerian educational system is well enhanced to dip its hands and bring out a critical thought, a problem solving, you know, issue. How and whether the students are getting this problem solving issues is the other problem, because you're teaching and you think that the students are getting over it. Apparently they're not. And so what do you do? Do you just keep repeating yourself? Do you keep the speaker so loud?
Okay, now, but now, how fit, how fit for purpose are the graduate produced in Nigerian education system? How fit for purpose are the graduate produced in Nigerian education system? How can graduate be more adequately prepared for national development and the world at large?
Okay. Some students are prepared and some are not prepared. And so what do you do to those who are not prepared? Well, I don't know. I really don't know what to say concerning those who don't get prepared. But there's a significant few that pay attention to the system and so are prepared for whatever may come their way. Uh, Take, for instance, those who are preparing right from year one. They know that they have come to school to get something. And so they start preparing from year one. Others start preparing somewhere in the middle. Others, it is at the end. So tell me, how do you um, place these students? The ones that prepare from the beginning, from the early stage, of course, you expect that those ones will come out with good grades. Some start getting serious somewhere in the middle, and then some towards the end. You know, it's sad that there are those ones that prepare towards the end of their program. They have very little to catch up with, very little.
Okay, now let's talk about a word of honoring, degrees. Yeah, some universities, tertiary institutions in Nigeria, they are very fond of awarding honorary degrees to, certain personalities in the society. The question is the award of honorary degrees by many Nigerian tertiary education or institutions to diverse personality edifying, fostering excellence, and actually rewarding meritorious contribution to national development?
If you ask me, I would say yes. I would say yes to that. That whether such degrees are promoting academic excellence, if you ask me, I think they are. Because the people who are prepared to make it at the top, they are watching, and they feel that someday or tomorrow it will be mine. And so they strive harder, seeing that some persons are worth such degrees, to work harder so that they'll get to the point where they will be awarded such degrees. Well, it could be in their middle ages, could be their old age. That's it.
Okay. Now, you have a PhD in English language and you lectured in the Department of English. Are you looking forward to becoming a professor? And if you are, how soon should we be expecting that?
Oh my God. Should I expect that in another 3, 4 years?
Okay, all right. Well, I wish you, best of luck in your academic, quiz, endeavor, journey. All right, but before we draw a curtain on this, interview session, now, Nigerians will be going to the polls very soon. The February 25th, 2023 general election will be a defining moment for Nigerians. What are your expectations for the next president as a lecturer?
For the next president,
Yeah.
wow, that's a difficult one to expect. What I expect the next president to do for me? Let's hope that you will be a better, rid of corruption, take away responsibility out of teaching, take away politicization of education, provide infrastructure, do away with indiscipline. You know, indiscipline, that's a poor and polluted learning environment. Do away with paucity of quality polluted learning environment. And then school is vague with numerous social vices such as malpractice, cultism, hooligan, corruption, and the like. So for meaningful development to take place, we have to do away with all of these.
Okay. Now, are you, kind of contented or satisfied with your welfare, your current welfare as a lecturer? Don't you think the
I
president
would
should
say
look into the welfare of, lecturers, teachers?
I think a lot so. Our welfare is neither here nor there. You can't say it's good, you can't say it's bad, But we want it to be good. And so we pray that the will look, the government needs to address the issue of funding. That is basic. We need funding. Private and private education investors, teachers, parents, guidance, and students need a reorientation towards achieving the goals of education.
Okay. Very
Um,
quickly, what is your advice for students and lecturers?
Students should get more serious with work, you know, and stop waiting for the lecturer to get serious. Lecturers, I think there's so much work to be done that we have covered just half. Please don't wait to be told to do your work, you know. Don't wait to be told. Do your work.
Dr. Sarah Shittu, I must say thank you for being on Interview with Stephen Ahwin.
Thank you so much.
From me to you, bye.
Goodbye.